All right, here we go again. Buckle up.
You are listening to the Law Enforcement Pirate Radio Network. Radio Free Larry presiding.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Radio Free Larry.
All right, here we go again. So it's kind of weird. If you know anything about Lancaster County, it's the king of outlets, the king of, Reading, Lancaster County. There's places around Pennsylvania that are just outlet centers. And now the organic Amish tobacco may have sold out already. But again, what we're looking at is they're sending it. And in Lancaster County, there's the Lancaster Leaf Company or something like that. They should have an outlet in Lancaster County because it's a big attraction. A lot of people are smoking cigars and things like that, and they're looking for the Amish tobacco, especially organic. So it's a commodity that is being most likely hindered by Virginia power because it makes no sense. We're anti-power. Well, it would be an attraction for people to travel to Lancaster to pick some up. I don't know the complete laws on it, but I think whole leaf tobacco in most states is carried outside of the normal tax structure. And it's kind of like, ingredient to make cigars or something. I'm looking for Native American ceremonial tobacco. From what I'm looking at, there's nothing really available. Even I bet you there's one tribe in Minnesota that's selling wild tobacco, but by the photos I'm looking at, it's the same tobacco they're selling at the white person store. You can get it a couple other places, but they're charging like 10 times as much. And this is my gripe. Who can purchase from Native Americans so expensive? I understand fry bread is very expensive, and those fry bread tacos are expensive. So that's the funny part. They condemn wealth, but who can purchase from the Native American artisans and others? The people with wealth. So it's just like insanity. So what I was looking at is trying to so if I can't purchase it from a Native American, and again, a Native American could hate white people, sell it to me, and just have all sorts of evil spirits on it. Right. But the Amish people, again, there's some Amish that have run amok, but generally the Amish farmers are and especially those that are growing tobacco, are very busy because they use the old timey methods. So if I were to be able to get organic Amish, I would, no additives, but I'd also have a person that doesn't hate Native Americans for being Native Americans or hate white people for being white people. And I actually have an in with the Amish. I spent a few days out there years ago in 2000. I actually healed nickel mines. See, I was in the right locations, but you all were killing me. And these are the people that are now stealing $900 and something thousand from the Russians, claiming that they felt that the Russians shouldn't have the money. I think what happened was he did it, he stole it, and they were beating on it. Somebody saw him, but they couldn't reveal their case. So they had him, they pressured him to turn himself in from it, spy wise. Right. And then he turns himself in. Thank you. Made it, concocted a story. I mean, it sounds like them, but I don't know. Because that's the thing about me. He deserved nothing. He deserved nothing. You got some lunatic FBI boss from like 20 years ago who's in some loony bin somewhere yelling into their heads, "They deserve nothing." They all just carry it out like mindless drones. They deserve nothing. So again, I think this is one of those things where somebody in the state should, I don't know who does the commerce in the state, but they should look into this. It's going to the big cigar producers. But there's no reason that we don't, again, it's a multifaceted thing. Again, you're not going to, you'll drum up you'll probably get a lot of business in the summer, like trips into Pennsylvania. And again, I know I've seen several states where it's outside the tax law. So you have to, and if it's not, at least for Pennsylvania, we should make sure it's, beneficial to people coming in and purchasing it. But it's also tourism to come in and purchase and then they could actually have a tour of a farm. Maybe have a couple Amish people hanging out. And actually, the Amish could do it because they do the furniture outlets. Right? And that's where they could also sell it. They could, have it at the furniture outlets where you buy your shoe five pie and all that kind of stuff. And they might. I don't know. I haven't been able to find it online. And again, it's not, if it's in an Amish store, it's not necessarily going to be online. Right. And I might just be at a point where it's sold out and they have to reharvest at some point. But it appears to me that it's not available at the outlets. There should be a tobacco outlet. There's a lot of tobacco stores there, but I don't think they're the Pennsylvania tobacco outlets, which again, the whole thing defies that business model that exists in Lancaster County. And of course, surrounding environs. I think one of the problems why one of the distributors, Leaf Only, used to distribute it. They're up in Connecticut. But it seemed, again, Pennsylvania tobacco, just a non-organic, was so popular that they actually had to re-import it into the United States from the Dominican Republic. But yet we're not selling it here. As far as people buying whole leaf. So when you go to, I guess it's called Leaf Only, you can buy straight from the Amish. They still have some. Right? I don't think it says Amish, but that's who it's coming from. Or you can buy it re-imported from the Dominican Republic. So they actually exported it to the Dominican Republic, for I guess cigar making, Right. And then the suppliers in the United States had to re-import it so they could, they would have enough. Again, I think so again, it's weird. At a certain point, you couldn't purchase the American only type, which you can now, but you can purchase. So one of the things that happened, I think, is it was inconsistent because it's organic, and a lot of people are used to non-organic. So if you sell organic to non-organic people, they start complaining about how it looks. Now, for me, for ceremonial tobacco, it doesn't matter. I got to figure out what to do with my wild tobacco. Again, I don't know what the source is. I could call these guys, but apparently it could come from Vietnam, which means it could have all sorts of stuff in there. There's no controls there. Well, the point is that most people switched away from wild tobacco in the 1700s. So it's a lot of, because it's just not, it's not as smooth. And again, you don't have to smoke it. Even for ceremonial, they were using, native grown other tobaccos. The native switched. But only now is it, again, kind of become, what the hell was that? It kind of became popular again. Because people are trying to be authentic. And I try to be authentic. Again, I don't mind it. I purchased it. I got to understand it. Right? And then I went for some other organic tobacco because it's just for my incense, it's probably not going to be valid. It's a little it's too harsh. And again, I was thinking, and I was going to reduce it down to 10% tobacco, which might work, but and maybe I'll try to make some with the wild tobacco. It's 19% nicotine on wild tobacco, and regular tobacco is like I think 4 to 6%. Again, trying to minimize the nicotine content. I don't burn it inside. I burn it outside. So I was wondering if I just need to get near a campfire and I'll throw it in. I don't have any place. If I had a private lot, I'd buy a big chimenea, which is one of those big backyard fireplaces. You get them relatively cost effective. And I start a little fire in there and throw it in there, but I can't do that here. So again, this shows you even with a better life, I should say, than I had, Satan's still moving and blocking and whatnot with their CIA toolkit and their $900 and something thousand transfer of crypto. So again, I think Pennsylvania Commerce and Agriculture should look into marketing combined with tourism. People that do the tourism marketing, Pennsylvania tobacco, and again, we're in an organic age. We should really even subsidize some of that organic production if the Amish need help. And then the major person down there is that Lancaster. They're actually buying it all up. Lancaster Leaf Company, as far as I know. And then they send it wholesale. So we should contact them and say, hey, is there any way we can open an outlet? And they'll tell you whether there's some law that needs to change. Well, we want people to come in from New Jersey, from New York, from Ohio, and even beyond. These cigar guys got money. They'll come in and purchase it off the stores, and then they'll go in and buy, they'll buy a shoe 5-ply, having the scrapple breakfasts, and even though I'm a vegetarian. Right. So again, it's something that's wasn't cultivated. It's there. It's probably a great market, a great source of tourism. So cigar guys are really, and gals, I guess there's a couple, are really serious about that stuff, and some have a lot of money. Right. If they can get organic Amish tobacco at an outlet in Lancaster County, they'll probably take a vacation to go see it. And then we can also, where they view the farms and do one of them, even build a museum, maybe Pennsylvania tobacco history, that kind of thing, or add to a museum. All right, stay peaceful. Praise God and all that you do.